Alright YouTube, what is going on? It is ConflctNerd Family here today, bringing you episode number 4 of my Project Highrise series. Now today I'm feeling much better, which is good, so we're going to go ahead and get on with really what I wanted to do in the last episode. We just had real bad constraints with money, and we went ahead and mainly focused on going ahead and starting some residential, which as we can see we're actually doing quite good on. But I wanted to go ahead and start to change up the ground and the first floor, go ahead and add in a lobby, go ahead and move around services, and now we have a bit of money. We've also paid off our loan, which is a good thing. Let me go ahead and do some renovations very quickly. We have paid off our loan, so if we jump into here we can see we had a community bank loan which didn't actually give us that much, and I think going forward I'm going to try and avoid using loans at all costs. The only reason I would go ahead and take out a loan in the future is if it's an emergency, and what I mean by that is, for example, if we all of a sudden really badly need more electricity. Right now, I mean, we've got plenty of extra capacity, utilization is only at 63%, so really we have an extra 37 rooms which could require electricity before I go ahead and need an extra power transformer room, I think these are called, yeah, so transformer rooms, so I've got plenty of room there, but that would be the only real reason that I go ahead and take out a loan. Going forward, I think we're making enough money per day, and hopefully we're going to go ahead and make that even better, because I want to go ahead and add in more offices, and I also want to go ahead and start to work towards this industry diversification challenge, and then on top of that I want to go ahead and try and raise the prestige as well, and that's something which we really badly need to do, I think. So the first thing is I want to do is draw your attention to the changes I have made since the last episode. So the first one is I've removed the plumbing closet over here, and that's maybe a strange one, but the reason is because we now have a plumbing closet over here right beside where all the apartments are going to be. So what I've done is, I believe it's this restaurant here that actually requires a water source, and I've gone ahead and just had a large pipe which basically goes through the building. Now, the reason I removed it from this left hand side is because there's no real justification for it being at the left hand side, there's no needs. I want to turn your attention to satisfaction because in general we're actually doing really well. Some of the apartments are doing better than others, but in general all offices are relatively happy, and so are the retail units and also our food units as well, if it's a restaurant, cafe, you know, whatever. But we need to go ahead and continue to do better with that. So as you can see, if we come out of this, I always hit escape to get out of it. We've gone ahead and we've extended the building quite a lot at the top, and we're going to go ahead and start to move offices up there. So let me go ahead and jump in and let's get some building. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and extend our elevator shafts just right up to the top here. Then what I want to do is, for the time being, we're going to go ahead and fill in. Now yes, this is the one thing which I'm not liking. We still have an unfortunate gap here, which I don't know what I'm going to fill that gap with right now, to be honest. I will fill it with something eventually, but for the time being I'm just going to have to leave it blank. So yes, it's going to look absolutely hideous, but I might put like another wiring closet in there at some point, but I'm not 100% sure. So I've gone ahead here and built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 new offices. But what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove this office here, this office here, this one here, and then these final two here. And the reason is because we are freeing up floor 1, because we're going to go ahead and move around some of our services onto this floor very shortly. So now with all of those offices removed, we've got the first floor free. So the first thing I'm going to deal with is the empty offices, because that is where we're going to make money. Then after that we're going to go ahead and start to deal with everything else. So let's extend the power cables right along to the end of this floor. Now I've run out of money of course, but we are nearing the end of the day, which is good. I don't really know, I'm not going to fill in this top floor yet, which is floor 7. So we're already at floor 7, which is quite cool. Now the thing I've been thinking about is we can go up ridiculously high here. Project Highrise, that's funnily enough. How high can we actually go? So we can go to 59, so basically 60 floors, and then we've also got the underground bits as well. So what my plan is to do is to keep this format up to about floor 10. Then at floor 10 we're going to have another lobby area with more communal areas, more lobbies, more eating facilities. Then we're going to change it up, and that's how we're going to go ahead and sort out our industry diversification up there as well. Now I'm just trying to think. The 100 people one's coming up actually, so I think we're going to go ahead and take this. So the city's planning commission has decided that your area is ripe for further development and would like you to take the lead by having 100 people live or work in your building. So we're extremely close to that. We're already at 80 people, and we actually are getting quite a few visitors as well, which is good to see. So with that will come over time. It should come this episode because we've done 3 episodes and we're going to do quite a large amount of expansion today. It's just because we now have the money, which is really, really good. We also actually got some money for that as well, and we're already now making like a lot of money per day. That's the bottom line. Near enough, around about 1,000 per day. So let's go ahead, and as we can see, we've actually got real large opportunities for expansion here. So plenty of offices to go ahead and choose from. So going to start off with the higher paying ones. So let's go ahead, and most of these are just going to be phone line. I'm not really too concerned about if it's a phone line office or not right now, to be honest. That's something which doesn't really bother me that much. We will go ahead and leave you for the time being though. The creative offices, they always require phone lines, but some of them are requiring more on top of that. Better eating facilities, and that's something which we're going to go ahead and expand into this episode. Now I'm going to pause while I do this because I have not actually preloaded the phone lines, which is something which is not good at all. So legal, what about accounting? Didn't you guys see, this is the problem. Needs a greater variety of food and restaurants, and we'll be able to accommodate for that today, which is good. So we'll go ahead and stick you in there, we'll go ahead and stick you in there. Then we're probably going to expand onto the next floor already, actually. That's probably what I'm going to do. So the first thing is I need to go ahead and add in some more phone lines, which go right along to about there. And then, unfortunately, yeah, I mean, even though we're bringing in a good amount of money per day, it's still not actually amazingly consistently high. That's the real issue. So we are only at the start of the day as well. So unfortunately, we're going to have to wait. But with all the office expansion, we are starting to see... now this is the problem. This is where I need to take out a loan. So I've gone over my phone capacity. So we jump down to, this is where our phones are. Then yeah, utilization is at 125%. So what I'm going to do is we are going to need to upgrade phone boxes. So if I jump into here and then phones. So right now that would cost us $350 per day times 2, that's $700. Whereas we could pay $800 a day and get capacity for 50 phones, which that would do us for an extremely long time. So I want to buy that, but the problem is I don't have the money. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out the credit card loan. Now this is a much smaller repayment, but ideally what I'd probably go ahead and do is pay it off extremely quickly, because the $2,500 here that I'm about to get, I will essentially gain back in about 2 or 3 days, so I can pay it off much quicker, which is probably better for my sake. So let's go ahead and grab you, and that'll solve that problem. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to install this larger one. Where am I going to put it about? I think we're actually, should we start going ahead and... I'm not really sure where I want to place them, that's the real problem. I'll place it there for now, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and delete you, because that would be a waste of $700 per day, and I don't want to go ahead and do that. So with that now built, we should see that that complaint has already disappeared, which is great, and we should have mad extra capacity. Yeah, so we're only at 50% of usage there, which is good to see, and that means that we are going to be good for quite a bit of time to come. Now I want to go ahead and jump in and go ahead and look at our individual breakdown of our budget. So I want to see where we're making a lot of money, and we're making a lot of money off offices and apartments. And apartments is definitely something which I want to go ahead and extend into, because we are, I feel it's very, very easy money. That's the thing. The amount of money that I have to spend to go ahead and set apartments up is generally quite low. The only thing I do need to worry about is an initial cost for recycling and for bins, and outside of that there's really not much issues at all that I need to, there's no recurring high costs, that's the thing. Electricity and phone I think you guys require, but outside of that it's not really a high cost at all. So apartments are really easy to go ahead and implement and also make money from. Now, I do want to go ahead and increase our restaurant and retail, and that's something which we'll do later on in this episode as well. As you can now see, we're up to just about $7,000 and we're making a great profit. So I've let the game run for a few days, paid off that credit card loan, and we are definitely doing extremely well. So let's go ahead and start to work towards better facilities in this building. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to jump in and we're going to start off with food, and we are going to go here for a medium restaurant. Now a medium restaurant fits perfectly in there, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do. We're going to place that in there, then we're going to start to move office. courier services, whatever they are, all these, what is it, what's the word, office supplies, not office supplies, office services I guess you could say, different kinds of office services onto the first floor here. So we need to move a courier, we need to go ahead and move the copy center, and we also need to go ahead and office supplies. So first of all, let's actually get the restaurant done first of all. So as we can see here, there's quite a lot, so prestige need at least 3 stars. So we've got a good mixture here actually, which is good to see. I'm just thinking pizza, oh let's do a pizza place, I love pizza places. So who's going to pay the most? So you're probably going to expect trash bins on the same floor. See, that's a bit of a problem though, that's something which we don't really have. So does everyone require that? All it looks like larger restaurants do require that. But I can go ahead and do that easily and just put it out the way. So that's what we'll do. So we'll still go ahead and grab a pizza place. Then I'm going to go ahead and pause the game while that gets built. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to put trash facilities all the way at this end here, so it's just right out the way. So if I jump back into my trash facilities, now trash I would sort of classify as a utility. Trash is, I would say that falls into that category, but for some reason, not really at all sure why. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and put trash facilities there, which that should work. Even though it's at the other end of the floor, it's still on the same floor. And that should hopefully go ahead and solve that problem. So you're going to build that. I still need to keep doing some more of this renovation. That costs a lot there actually. Hadn't done it in a while to be fair, so that's totally understandable. And that looks nice, that looks really nice. So your satisfaction's good. You do need a water pipe, or do you have a water pipe? I don't think you do. So let me jump into here. Yeah, we already do have a water pipe, which is good actually. So we'll just extend you out a little bit, and then we should be good from there, I'm hoping. So all should be good, and we'll see how that does tomorrow. Opening hours are from 10 AM to 11 o'clock at night, so I can expect to see that have a lot of use, because if we jump into traffic, this is one of the most high traffic areas on our save so far, which is nice to see. Right, let's go ahead and actually start to get these office services moved up. So the courier service is going to jump up there. Then we're going to have our office supply service, you're going to go in there. Then we're going to have our, what's next? Bottled water's in the basement right now. It's the copy service which we need to go ahead and implement. So we'll go ahead and implement you in there. So congratulations, you have completed the contract increased density. So we've managed to get 100 people into our building as well. And we're now at 5 stars all round, which is great. So we've gone ahead and rebuilt a lot of these facilities. So I'm going to go ahead and delete you. We're going to delete you, and we're going to go ahead and delete you. So it means that all our services now are just up on the first floor instead of the ground floor, and that means I can hopefully go ahead and put in some more restaurants and stuff like that. So with that said, let's go ahead and we can also put in some retail along here as well actually. That's something which I'm totally open to do. So if I go ahead and it looks like we actually do have some more retail stuff. And these are huge, but that fits in there perfectly actually, that's interesting. So we could go ahead and let's put you in there and see how you do in there, just hypothetically. And then I want to go ahead and see if we can fill in this small gap here. I mean, this gap here is a little bit too small, I think. We're not really going to be able to do anything with that, but outside of that, we should be able to fill in this space here just below it. So again, if we jump back in here to food, and this would be a small place, but it would still work. What about another medium place? We can get another medium place in there. So that would be fine. And then if we get another small place in there, probably, that would be fine as well. So we'll go ahead and do that. Then I want to try and make this area probably a lobby. Maybe a double-headed lobby, actually. That would be quite a good idea. Then this end area, I'm still unsure what we're really going to do with it. But that's a good plan, and that's definitely going to go ahead and improve stuff. I know what we might have to do, actually. We might have to put in some more office stuff in here, because we've not got, for example, like an IT service or anything like that yet implemented into this building. Right, so let's go ahead and let's go for another cafe, and let's go ahead and go for this here Cafe Veneto Cafe and Bakery. Serves coffee and lunch. So that is, again, likes high traffic areas, very high traffic area, and we've got all the requirements for you, so that should go ahead and work out no problem. Then again here we've got, let's go for a fast food restaurant this time, so you don't pay as much, but we've got OLT fried chicken, which we might as well go ahead and take, or Taco Mountain. Now I do like a good taco, so we're actually going to go with Taco Mountain, I think. And then finally we've got, So this is an empty retail spot. So what are we really requiring? So I don't really know. A lot of these require, unfortunately, 5 stars prestige, so that's something which we have now lost because we've actually gone back under 100 people, which is a shame. But I want to go ahead and try and place in some art so we can go ahead and actually make this work and get more prestige in different areas. So artworks and happy tenants, I think that's something which we can go ahead and get some stars in. So as you can see here, this is the sort of lobby art which we have got to play around with here. So we've got what looks like a chandelier, we've also got some modern sculptures and a few different things as well. So we're going to go ahead and see, these are two-story. So I think that's what we're actually going to have to do. So let me go ahead, just ignore what I literally said there, just ignore that. So let's go back in here, let's go to lobby. So it is going to have to be a two-story lobby, which is something which, yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of, to be fair, but it's going to have to be this way. Now, stupidly, there's a door here, which, that's a bit silly, but I hope that nobody opens it and falls. I'm sure they'll be fine. Right, so let me go ahead and jump back into some of our decorative arts, and let's go back into lobby art. So this is the sort of stuff which we can go ahead and implement. 1, 2, I can only get 2 of those in, and that's it, which is quite strange. So we can get one of those in. I'm just sticking a few of these in to hopefully go ahead and try and just improve the general atmosphere. Anything else? I don't really see that. See, that's the problem, I can't. Now, here, this is what I want to do. So start to implement paintings, just go ahead and boost all the levels up. So place a small painting for a small increase in prestige, build an interior decorator and use your influence to unlock these aesthetic tracks. Or aesthetic tracks. It's a difficult word for me to say. So I need to go ahead and get a consultant, which will allow me to go ahead and do small artworks. And I also need my interior decorator to be at least 1, whatever that means. So what I'm going to do is we're going to jump into here. We've got aesthetics and we've got a construction office for an interior decorator, which is probably going to solve some of my problems. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. Where is your office going to go? Your office is going to go... I mean, you're the sort of same size as a general office, so we're going to stick you up there for the time being, and that should hopefully go ahead and partially solve our problem. Now, one thing is we're having a lot of maintenance issues, a lot of renovation needs done, and we can see there's a lot of grime, which I'm not the biggest fan of at all. So now that we've got our interior decorator office, you can see here that it basically improves the appearance and attractiveness of your building, very straightforward. So if we jump into influence like we said, we need to go ahead and unlock small artworks. And this is something which influence, we've not really played around with it too much so far. So it's been building up, and same with the buzz. I mean, we have looked at the buzz, and buzz is, I mean, it's useful at times, but it's not, there's nothing overly appealing unless I'm doing mass building for me to go ahead and use it. But there's a much more use for influence, but you're only going to need to use influence every now and then. It's not something which you're going to go ahead and require a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock the first 2 stages of aesthetics, and that's going to allow us to go ahead and build a shit ton of different items. So as we can see now, we have options like paintings. Now paintings cost a lot of money. This year cost $5,000, but instantly I get a star for, or a prestige star for my artwork, which is great. So something simple like that, it makes a large difference, but it does come at a price. And it also has an upkeep cost, or some of them have an upkeep cost per day, which is strange. So we are at least still starting to go ahead and diversify, like I said I wanted to in the last episode, our different kinds of prestige. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump back into here, and what kind of store do we need? That's the thing. Like, I'm honestly very, very unsure. So that is something which we do need to go ahead and do, and that is something which I can easily implement. We need another storage room, and that is going to be implemented into the basement, I think. So the basement, I'm not really bothered if there's a pattern in the basement like there is above ground in the offices. There's just not as much need. So let me go ahead and jump in here and grab myself storage, and then here we've got our retail storage unit. So ideally I would love to fit it in there, or there, or there, but it's not going to happen unfortunately. So I could go down another floor, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to stick it over here. Again, it's the basement, I'm not really that bothered too much. What have we got here? So build a supply room for your building's custodians. Each supply room Okay, so that looks, it's to do with cleaning, I think it is. Partially. I'm not really 100% sure there though, but interesting. We'll probably cross that bridge eventually. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a clothing store, and you pay quite a lot of money, $330 per day, which is nice to see, so I'm glad we're making some progress in the right direction. Right, so with all that done, I want to go ahead and I want to do some mass expansion here. So what floor are we on to? We're on to floor 7. So I want to go ahead and build the next 3 floors. That's really what I want to do. So this is going to cost me a lot of money, but we're going to go ahead and implement so much with all this expansion. So I should probably go ahead and slow expansion down a little bit actually. Let's just do like 2 floors at a time. I don't want to go ahead and overdo it and I have to take out lots of loans. That is my worry, so let's go ahead and just slow things down that little bit. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is add in many more just normal sized offices for the time being. So let's go ahead and add in you guys. And that's that's quite a lot of extra offices. Then we'll go ahead and do the same on the next floor very shortly. And then after that we can go ahead and get more tenants in. Also want to get more residential people in for the end of this episode as well, which will be good. Now again, we are getting close once more to 100 population, so it's something which is strange actually. Like we sort of hit it and then instantly we went back down. We got it's quite a large amount of money actually, which was, oh whoa, what's going on here? So the city's economy is really heating up. City vacancy rates are very low and tenants are willing to pay higher rents. So it looks like people who were originally paying lower rents, the rent price is going up, which is a good thing. So we can maybe go ahead and kick out some of the, I guess, lower paying tenants. That's something which I think is maybe pushing us towards with that message there. That's the indication that I got from it anyway. Right, so with all that said, we need to go ahead and start to add in electricity stuff. That's the first big thing. So we're just going to go ahead and extend you guys right along there like that. Then we actually need to add in another wiring closet. So we'll add you in there and you in there as well. Then we're going to go ahead and extend out along here. And just going to cover the whole floor, to be fair actually. Eventually it's all going to be connected up anyway, so I might as well just go ahead and do it now. Right, so with that done, phone lines, I will go ahead and worry about phone lines where we need them. So again, we've got a lot of offices here, so we're going to go ahead and add in quite a lot of creative ones. So you guys aren't actually going to get moved in, or oh, you guys have a priority. Right, okay, you know what, let's go ahead and add in all these creative offices very quickly in this wee cluster here of 5 offices. This is sort of the middle column, I guess you could say. Then we're going over to, well, I guess there's 4 columns really. There's the far right one, which is a residential. Then we've got our 2 central ones, which are our office ones. Then on the, well, so far, right now, the one to our far left is our retail one. And someone was commenting saying I've laid it out really bad. And you know what, I've probably not done a very good job admittedly, but this is my first time playing the game and I'm enjoying playing the game. So I'm not going to go ahead and change it up too much more. Right, legal offices. Again, you guys don't require electricity, or not. You obviously require electricity. You guys don't require phone, which is good. So we'll go ahead and add you in there, and then a creative office. We'll add you in like that. Then let me jump in before you get and start complaining, because I know it's coming. Let's go ahead and add you in right along there, and then along there as well. Did we miss? Oh, we missed. Ah, fuck that up. I did fuck that up a little bit. Ah, well. Now, that's strange. So we've added in a greater variety of food court restaurants, or we've added in a greater variety of food restaurants. Food court might be the word there, which is maybe not getting us any more offices. So how is the insurance? So yeah, insurance, the general price of insurance offices is up much higher. It was originally probably at $85, but now they're pushing more like $100 seems to be the average, which is good. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to fill this office out, to be honest. I don't know what with though. We'll just go ahead and put this accounting office in here. Again, there's not much pattern. There's not, office groups aren't grouped together, so there's some creative, then insurance, then accounting, but I'm not really that bothered by that. So we're going to go ahead and get the game back onto ×3 speed. We're going to go ahead and add in some more offices. Probably just add in an extra 5 offices for the time being right now. I always do that, and that's one thing which I wish all games like this had, was an undo button. Now, it doesn't really matter in that case because offices don't cost too much money, but if I was to place a power unit like a transformer unit, they cost a lot of money, so that is where I would lose out on quite a bit of money. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have normal insurance offices in here. I'm just going to go ahead and empty the whole list here. You guys, again, you don't pay a lot, but you don't require a lot. It's only electricity and copy service, so it is not very high maintenance at all. And that'll bring us in not a lot of money, but it'll bring us in enough money for the time being. Now the final thing I want to do this episode is just add in 2 more apartments. As we can see, the building population is now well over our desired 100, which is good. Now we're starting to really... oh, damn. Right, so this is going to be our big problem when we get higher up here. We're going to, at floor 10, as I said, which will be in the next episode, we're going to go ahead and start to change the layout, and we're going to move the elevator columns a little bit because I want to start to implement stuff like this, but we can't for the time being. How big are you? So you're not ideally for that size either. And then I can't get 2 of you guys in either, which isn't good. Could we possibly get... No, not really. That's a bit frustrating actually. There's nothing that fits in that gap perfectly well, so I'm just going to continue with 2 more studios for the time being, and then we'll go ahead and do the same on the next floor as well. It's unfortunate how you guys are doing this. Like, you missed a tiny bit in the corner, and I can't go ahead and place anything there until you guys come back to that, which is a bit silly. Anyway, let's go ahead and add in, so for each floor, let's add in you and you. Then let's add in recycling center there and a recycling center there. And then finally, we need to go ahead and jump back into utilities, add in 2 more plumbing closets, and then go ahead and extend water pipes right through here and right through here, right to the ends. And then electricity, it's not quite on the top floor yet, but I'll go ahead and do that very quickly, and that means we can get 3 more tenants in. And again, the basic studio apartments, they're up a lot of money as well. So they were originally, how much? You guys pay 150, 140, whereas the average we're looking at 160 now, which is quite good. So again, we're making even more money, and as you can see, we're up to $4,000 per day, which is great to see. So our building, I would say, is starting to come to life, which is great. We are starting to get more prestige, and I want to go ahead and keep this momentum going. In the next episode, I want to get our population up to at least 140, if not higher, and I want to go ahead and get our prestige to at least 10. So it's going to be quite a large jump, but at the same time, we are sort of got the money now, which we can go ahead and do this mass building, and that is something which excites me. I like to go ahead and do things at a much faster pace. The only worry is, though, is that we are not going to have the good enough facilities to support this mass expansion, and what I mean by that is the maintenance, for example. The amount of times we're going to have to jump down here and go ahead and deal with it, it's going to be quite a lot, and that's going to cost us money. As we can see here, it's really not a lot actually, it's only 13%, but that's going to continue to add up as we go on. Same with the bins over here, and just in general the electricity, the water, we need to watch out and also, I guess, expand that as we expand everything else. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this video up here, so hope you have enjoyed it. Please leave a like, rating, subscribe if you are new around here. There'll be a new episode of this series in 2 days' time, and I'll catch you then. So thank you very much for watching. My name is ConflctNerd Callum, and I'm out.